The situation with the migrant votes and all the problems around the Home Office continues to let down the voters, as you guys know. Now, in this program, I'm joined by a very, very special guest, Nigel Farage. I sat down with him to talk about this and a number of other issues as well. And make sure to watch at the end of the video because I have a big update for you guys. As you guys know, we've been having some issues with this site and some other people who are trying to stop us from doing what we do every day on this channel. Make sure to watch the end of the video because I have some updates. Right, now we're joined by the one and only Nigel Farage. How are you, Nigel?
Fine, thanks, Mike. Good, yeah, I have to say. Lockdown's nearly over, and that's rather good news, but I'm pretty, I have to say, concerned that I might need to show a vaccine passport to go and buy a beer, but hey.
I mean, that's a whole different thing. We're going to get into all of that, but we have a lot of big problems going on right now, but also a lot of opportunities. So firstly, let's talk about the last couple of days in the news. The migrant boats are still coming in, and the mainstream media mostly haven't been talking about it, apart from a couple of people from the BBC who every now and then go there to kind of report what's happening there again.
Yes, I mean the BBC South East cover it because it's their local patch, so you will get it on BBC South East News. You will not get it on mainstream media at all. In fact, all we've had actually is Priti Patel. Priti Patel gets tough. Priti Patel's going to do this. Priti Patel's going to do that, and all the conservative commentators and backbench Tories say, oh, isn't she wonderful?
Yeah.
And she keeps saying the same thing time and time again. So a couple of big changes so far this year. Number one, the numbers coming into Kent are bigger than they were last year at this moment in time. Number two, some different types of people coming in. A lot of Vietnamese now coming in. Don't forget there were nearly 40 Vietnamese that died in the back of that refrigerated lorry in Tilbury. So maybe this is the route they're now choosing. But the other big change are the size of the boats. Completely different. When I was going out last year, you'd normally get 12, 14, 15 for each inflatable rib. The ribs are much bigger. One came into Dover yesterday with 38 on in the morning. Another came in the evening with 30 on. So the numbers, the numbers are still enormous. And let's get to the truth of it. Priti Patel's going to solve the whole problem.
Yeah.
What no one talks about is, despite the fact we've got Brexit, we are still part of the European Convention on Human Rights as adjudged by the European Court of Human Rights. And I think these last-minute legal challenges that stop deportations of illegals will continue. Nothing is going to change. And you know something? Amongst conservative voters, this issue matters. We are now, the taxpayer is now housing 64,000 people who have entered the UK illegally.
Wow.
Tens of thousands have their asylum claims rejected. Hardly anybody ever leaves. And if you think about it, actually, that's desperately unfair on UK taxpayers. But it's also unfair on people who've legally come to Britain.
Exactly, they're still waiting in the process. And
they've got to pass an exam and pay quite a lot of money for a passport. So this issue is not going away.
But that's the thing, I believe at this point, while Priti Patel is no longer as popular as Liz Truss or Rishi Sunak in the opinion polls, but she's still pretty much the shield right now, sort of like Matt Hancock with the NHS. So the tribalist Tories will still support her.
They want to believe it.
Yeah, exactly. And I know that maybe there's part of her that she still wants to get the job done because she has ambitions. She wants to make sure that she's recognized as a good minister. But clearly, either there are really, really big obstacles within the Home Office and the Border Force, or she's just not up to the job, right?
Well, look, I think the real problem is the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister
he's the boss,
but he's never had any interest in this subject.
That's true.
I mean, come on, the Australian-style point system that I've been pushing for 20 blooming years as being the fair, non-discriminatory way of handling immigration. He and Michael Gove picked that up towards the end of the referendum campaign. They never believed in it. They never believed in it at all, But I do think this subject, not just Dover, but I think also the subject of legal migration is going to become a big topic because of what's happening in Hong Kong.
True.
Now, I'm appalled.
Yes.
The way the Chinese have broken the agreements, the way democracy is being destroyed, opponents being imprisoned. But now, with the British National Overseas Passport, in the first 6 weeks, 27,000 people have registered to come from Hong Kong. The Home Office estimate it'll be 300,000 people that come over the course of the next few years. So we're on the verge of what might be the biggest ever migration to this country.
From all sides at this point, yeah.
We're talking really big numbers, and I just think we need to have a debate about it. And I do feel sorry for people living in Hong Kong. I genuinely do. Yeah. But can we really cope with 500,000, a million, whatever it may be?
I mean, the optimistic side of the other side say that, just because we've given him permission, not all of them are going to come. But the opportunity is there. And again, no issue with talented and people who kind of are going to contribute. That's not the issue. It's no longer about being selective, because that's a whole different debate in terms of what sort of people we are. But there's also debate about the number.
I think the numbers debate's massive. And if you think about one of the reasons why so many people went out and voted in that referendum, it was because their quality of life had been fundamentally changed by an open door policy. And what do I mean by that? I mean, access to the local primary school, because the numbers are going up, access to a GP, wages being compressed for people working on building sites or whatever. So this stuff doesn't go away, and it may not be an active discussion at all in mainstream media, but it will be.
I think one thing I've realized about the mainstream media, because again, it's the media's job to cover a lot of things so people are aware. And I've realized that they don't talk about a lot of things because maybe partly some of them feel that they're not experts, they don't know what they're doing, or partly some of them are just like, they're subconsciously used to the status quo. So whether it's with the pandemic stuff that started, they didn't challenge a lot of things, whether it's the SMP scandal that's been going on, the mainstream aren't really talking about it. Apart from the Scottish press up there, they're talking about it, but not here, because they're like, maybe either people don't care about Scotland, or we don't know much about it. It's the same with financial stuff.
I mean, look, I think and one of the reasons that you've done well, with what you do on YouTube and everything else, is I think the really interesting thing about mainstream media isn't so much what they do talk about, it's what they don't talk about. And that's really interesting, that there's almost a sort of a collective London-based mentality that says, no, that's not for us. And actually there's a massive thirst out there for alternative news. I mean, there really is, and that's great. Although, we are beginning to see through the internet elements of censorship of alternative views. I mean, what is really shocking during the pandemic are those that question lockdown. Those that question lockdown, have found themselves shadow banned and all the rest of it, and that is disturbing.
Yes, absolutely. And throughout this time, obviously, you've also, since the European Parliament, done a lot of media work and campaigning. That obviously on YouTube. You grew your YouTube channel. You have more subscribers than I do now.
Well, there you are. I mean, YouTube has been. I mean, you're locked down. You're at home.
What else would you do?
YouTube has been a good place to go. So, but look, I've always taken social media very seriously. I've never been the most technical person myself, but I've always recognised the importance of it, and that's why, across Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, I've built up
it's quite huge,
for political figures in this country by far the most active.
Yes, definitely.
Of those platforms, and I will go on working at that. I've even, for a bit of fun, joined Cameo. So hey, I'm never ever frightened to try things.
No, that's why people find you more relatable than others. Again, obviously you're no longer in party politics, but so maybe now you're more of a media kind of figure.
Well, I still want to. I mean, look, I'm not doing party politics, but I still want to campaign on issues. I mean, I'm particularly worried about the woke culture. I'm very worried about schools, universities. I mean, young people being brought up and taught to hate this country and everything it stands for, which is absolutely outrageous. I also, and we touched on Hong Kong earlier, but we need to have a bigger, better debate about China. I mean, the extent to which the ruling classes have effectively become in China's pocket is absolutely astonishing. So all these things I still care about. All these things I will write about, broadcast about, comment about. But as you can see with Fortune and Freedom, I'm also getting my a foot back into the business world as well, which I'm really enjoying.
Yeah, there's a lot that's going to come up with the politics again.
Priti Patel is going to make more promises, and
Yep.
then we'll wait and
Yeah,
see.
Priti Patel will make more promises. Boris Johnson will make more mistakes. But, you know...
And Michael Gove will steal more policies.
oh, I mean, everything. I mean, you know. But interestingly,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, look, the truth is, Boris Johnson doesn't believe in anything.
Yeah.
And we've seen that really since lockdown. He's also perfectly happy to contradict today what he said yesterday,
Yeah.
and with no shame at
Well,
all.
with the passports, with the health passports, change pick a side. I don't care if you're pro or against.
I know.
Like, just be proud. If you're pro, just be proud of it.
But the thing is, he doesn't have an opposition.
Yep. That's the thing, yeah.
There is no opposition.
No.
And that hard left element in the Labour Party is
Yep,
still there.
Still there.
And Starmer has to watch his step with them, otherwise they're going to go into
in
rebellion. And the truth is he's making no impact on the national debate whatsoever.
Yep.
So I think we're going to see a Conservative government in place for a long time to come.
We'll see. Thank you very much for coming.
Thanks, Mark.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that conversation. Nigel hopefully will come back on the show, and maybe I'll go on his channel as well. But we, as I said, there's a few things that's been happening. Yesterday, I didn't upload a video for you guys, and as some of you know, we've been having some problems. Certain people don't want this channel to continue, and the only way we can continue is by having your support, while continuing to support us as you guys have until now. The best thing to do is become a member. But from tomorrow, we're making some changes on this channel. I'm going to be doing news updates throughout the day. Instead of just having 5:45 p.m. and 8 p.m. programs, I'm going to be doing shorter news updates for you guys throughout the day, whatever happens. And every day, 8 p.m., we're going to be doing live shows for you guys. So that's the best way we can do. And actually, as I said, you guys have been a huge support for us, and I'm going to explain tomorrow what you can do to help us fight against this injustice. I'm going to explain more, but for now, some of you know that I've been giving shout outs to certain small British businesses. I'm going to do a bit of a plug-in. So my mother, as you know, used to be an NHS nurse, and she's gone back to her passion, which is flower arrangements. She started her own business during lockdown, which is a big risk, and in order to help her, this is not a paid ad, it's just in order to help her and all small British businesses out there. We're giving you a discount code MT10. If you're living across the country, if you have big events, whether it's weddings, now that lockdown's going to be finished, there's going to be a lot of events. If you need corporate contracts for your offices, whatever you want on a regular basis, if you want a one-off order, then I'm afraid you have to be around London because that's where she's based. But if there's a big contract or an event, again, as I said, like a wedding or something, then definitely check out the link in the description. I'll put their website there with the special discount code MT10 to get a special discount from us. Check it out if you want to support a small British business. As I said, I'm not getting anything out of it apart from the fact that it's my mother's business. Then we always do this every now and then on this channel, give shout outs to British businesses who are suffering during this lockdown. So don't forget, check out the link in the description. All the details are there, and use the code MT10. Thanks again for watching. I'm Tousi, and I'll see you guys in the next video.